these receivers on the line, man. I don't want a cornerback that's afraid to not attack. Create some cap space. So either he gets traded this year or next year, you have a number one corner already, right? Or you can go in this draft and you, let's say, for example, if Cam Smith falls to the second round, because, you know, I can move up and get another corner in the second round, just in case if we do have Chris Gonzalez, because I want to make sure we have all the corners. That way, if we lose someone, we are. I feel like him and Jordan Battle are neck to neck. You can't go wrong with anyone. The Penn State safety I like, um, but Antonio Johnson to me, I could see him going in the first round. I really do. I think that some team's going to take a chance on him, and I don't know why, but I feel like he's going to go. He's not going to make it to the second round. That's just how I
Yeah,
feel, man.
there's a
I
lot
feel
of
like
good
some.
players. There's a lot of good players. I wanna
This
really
is a
quickly.
stacked draft.
We just hold on. Yeah, I want to really quickly. We just started the live on YouTube. So if you guys are watching on YouTube and you guys want to join, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to join on here. A little bit of breaking news. When I was at the combine, Dewan Jones, offensive tackle, he wasn't able to go on the podium. But luckily, you guys know me. I do know him, so I texted him and I asked him if the Eagles were in contact with him at all. He just texted me and told me nothing yet. So I will keep an eye on that. There was a lot of
Hmm.
offensive linemen that have been in contact with the Eagles. Some of the main ones being
Hmm.
Cody March. I spoke to Mark Evans a little bit. I spoke to, I'm trying to remember the kid from uh, uh, Canada, but there's another kid that we spoke to, and that one was actually really, really interesting. I want to bring that up really, really quick. Broderick Jones also said he has interview set for today. He has a formal interview set today with the Eagles. It was O lineman Matthew Bergeron. So Matthew Bergeron from Canada originally.
Yeah.
He actually said he had a
That's.
formal interview with the Eagles. He sat down with Stoutland and watched guard tape. Another part of that
Hmm.
that was kind of interesting that I didn't post is that he also said that he sees himself as a left tackle. He said, that they were kind of making jokes about it at the podium, and they were like, "What are you?" And he said, "Let's not get it mistaken." Literally, this is his quote. He said, "Let's not get it mistaken. I am a offensive tackle. I am a left tackle." But he watched some guard tape with Stoutland. He said it was a lot of fun. Got some tips from him. Running back wise, Devin Archain, somebody that I know a lot of people are high on because of the speed that he has. He did not speak with the Eagles, but he did speak with the Dallas Cowboys. So that's interesting. I know a lot of people are high on Bajan Robinson for a good, for good
Hmm.
reason. But his backup, Rashawn Johnson, said that he had surgery on his broken bone in his hand. Says that he can go through all the drills today. He can tolerate pain. He has formally met with the Eagles, and he also said that it was an ideal place to actually play. Shout out to Devin Jackson with half of that information that he gave me. But there's a lot of people that we met. Jamar Gibbs said that he shot hoops with the Eagles, and then he also said that he played darts with the Cowboys. I just want to make sure before I get into any questions, I get everything. Apparently, the Washington Commanders are doing for some reason they're having all their offensive linemen break huddles. The next one was Ricky Stromberg today. He said that they definitely did, and that stood out to him. Lastly, Darnell Wright said he has met with the Eagles, and he also discussed what he was looking for in his next coach. Asim Richards, another offensive lineman, actually an Eagles fan. We started talking about Lil Uzi Vert. We started talking about Meek Mill. He's a Philly fan. He said that he would love to play for the team. He said he has informally met with them. And lastly, Andrew Voorhees said that he has officially met with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's kind of where we are today. But if y'all got any questions about what's going on, anything, obviously I'm looking at the YouTube side as well. If you guys want to hop on here, ask any questions, definitely hit the link that is pinned in the chat. But All right, I got all the stuff I wanted to say. I appreciate y'all wait for a second.
Yeah,
But what's going on, Dev said? What's going on, guys?
So man, I see you doing your thing out there, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's a lot of fun. I actually checked to I scared so there's a lot of Eagles staff out there today. And
Yeah,
obviously I've been out here the whole week, right? And today I saw so many people. I saw Aaron Moorhead, who I think I kind of scared. He
yeah,
runs the wide receiver drills, so that wasn't out of the ordinary. But I saw a lot of Eagles coaching staff out here for the offensive linemen. So it's going to be interesting. I was literally right next to Fran Duffy asking questions, which is
oh damn.
insane to me. But yeah, it's insane to me. But it's
nice,
pretty dope,
nice.
man. It's pretty dope. This is it's a crazy experience. So what are y'all thinking?
It's
How
like
are
you
y'all?
gotta.
Go
It's
ahead.
like
I'm
when you
sorry,
ask a question, you gotta like hurry up and like talk over the next
Brad.
person. You know? Yeah,
Yeah,
everything.
it's crazy. It's funny because when I first went out there, my first day out there, I was a little bit shy. I was like, all right, I don't want to like be rude. I don't want to stand out too much.
Oh, you don't want to
And
ask
then
the
I
wrong
realized
question. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. But and then you realize
yeah,
it's like every man for themselves. Everybody's just screaming, and if you don't get your question in, you're not getting it in. But shout
you're
out to
not gonna.
everybody
Yeah,
on the YouTube side. I see y'all. But yeah, y'all got any question? How y'all feeling about this combine so far? Has anybody stuck out to y'all or anything?
Like I said, man, I think we got to get Gonzalez. Like I said, if he's there at 10, you got to draft him because like I feel like he is the best corner. I know a lot of people think Oregon cornerbacks can't develop. You know, there's a lot of people who don't like Oregon cornerbacks. But like when I look at Chris Gonzalez, I look at a guy like what we saw with the Jets with Sauce Gardner, and I feel like we haven't had that. You know, and I don't want to go into this draft and not address corner because in this league, you got to have corners. We saw what the Eagles had when they had no corners, and they got absolutely destroyed. I don't know if you remember, but Jalen Mills and Ryan Darby weren't great corners.
I try to
You
forget,
know,
but
they were burnt
yeah.
cheese. They were burnt toast. And I feel like when James Bradbury goes, who are you going to get? Are you going to go out there and you're going to go sign a veteran? A a 31-year-old again? I feel like that you can't get band-aid corners. I feel like you got to address this corner situation. You know, I understand that Howie Roseman doesn't believe in corners. I get that, but I feel like this is the year you got to do it. You got to get a corner in here
yeah. You
because
gotta. Yeah,
because Jalen Hurts' contract's coming up. You're gonna have to pay C.J. Gardner Johnson. You can't afford to spend on cornerbacks. You're not going to have enough money to do that because once you pay a quarterback, that money is now going to be limited. You know, and I feel like you get a corner on a rookie deal, you won't have to worry about paying them for a while, right? And I feel like we got to get two corners in this draft, but I'll be happy just for one. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a Gonzalez, give me a Joey Porter Jr. I'll even take the dude from Georgia. Like I know a lot of people are not a fan of him. They say he get beat a lot. Well, his speed is crazy, you know, and I feel like he really made a statement yesterday in the combine talking about, you know, everybody told him that he can't go with these receivers. Well, he showed he has the fast speed to get down with these receivers. And, you know, and I understand it's not everything, but like I said, man, I was happy with Cam Smith too. I feel like he's underrated. I feel like he's going to get snatched. Like I feel like we're going to see cornerbacks go off the board quickly, but I feel like
yeah,
the Eagles are in the perfect
Yeah,
position right now, the 10th pick right now, where you can get. There's a corner that's going to fall to us because I see Will Anderson going off the board. I can see Jalen Carter going off the board before we draft. Um, and I feel like there's going to be quarterbacks going off the board. So I see a player dropping to us, you know. And like I said, if you have a chance to get a Christian Gonzalez or Joey Porter Jr. or one of those corners, you do it because they're not only for this year, they're for your future down the road. Darius Slay is
yeah,
32 years old. He got a cap hit. And unless he takes a restructured deal, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people are going to like this, but I'm going to move him if he's not going to take a restructured deal because he's going to cost a lot of money. So I feel like that you need to go out there, and I think you need to address the secondary. You got to get another safety here. Epps is going to be a free agent. I really like Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M. When I watch him,
yeah,
he
I do
plays
too.
like C.J. Gardner Johnson. I like Jordan Battle over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with the Penn State safety. I feel like you got to get another safety here. Running back, I feel like we can get one. You know, Tank Bisbee is the guy that I've been looking at. You know, because I understand like I'm starting to prepare myself like, okay, we might not get that running back that everybody wants, but I feel like Gibbs, someone's going to take him early in the second round, and we got a 6-2 overall pick. You know, unless we move up in the early second round, I could see him going fast. But
Yeah,
I'm looking at
I can
10-10
see
too.
you can see a lot of these running backs. I mean, a lot of these running backs are there's a lot of really good running backs. I was able to talk to my guy Cam Peoples, out of Appalachian State. I know him as well. He's an awesome kid. I was surprised to see him at the draft combine. I think he was surprised to be there. But he's a guy that a lot of people were talking to me about. A lot of people that I didn't expect to come up to me and talk to me. So it goes all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a
Mhm.
very this is in my opinion, this might be a historic running back draft. That's how
Yeah,
many good players you have out
Yeah,
there.
it's a
And I
lot of
know
good running backs.
and I wouldn't
facts. And I
mind
talked
defensive
to
end too.
Keandre
Like
Miller.
I feel like this
Yeah,
defensive
I
end
talked.
that
Dink
that
Burrito brought up. Hold on, Dink Burrito brought up
Mhm.
Keandre Miller. I did talk to Keandre Miller, and I can't remember if he told me he spoke to the Eagles or not. I'm gonna have to go through my actual notes. But Keandre Miller is another guy that I think is going to be really, really interesting to
Mhm.
watch. Ty Spears, I don't think he spoke to the Eagles yet. But there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of really good guys in this draft. So I mean, I'm excited. I think just to talk about Devin Witherspoon and these quarterbacks real quick. I know a lot of people love Devin Witherspoon, and that makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? He is a really good player, but I think the thing that people aren't taking into account is that I don't think Christian Gonzalez has really hit that ceiling yet. I don't think that he's really
Yeah.
become what he's going to be. I got a chance to talk to Broderick Jones, and I even asked him, offensive tackle, obviously different position, but I asked him where his ceiling was, and he said he doesn't think he has one. He doesn't think that players have ceilings. He thinks that if you continue to work hard, you're only going to get better. And I think that that really goes with somebody like
Mhm.
excuse me, I'm losing my mind right now. Christian Gonzalez. I think that he hasn't fully hit his ceiling, and he might not till he gets a couple years in the NFL. I think that he's got a very very interesting build to him, interesting tape. So I'm excited. Denk said Israel Abek. I can't say his name. But yeah, he was talking about the Steelers. He talked to the Steelers. He hasn't talked to the Eagles. It's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles do because the Eagles have talked to like 5 or 6 different offensive linemen that are all supposed to go in the top 3 rounds. So we'll
Well,
see. Cody Mouch is probably the most important. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
mhm. No, no, no. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, by the way, you're doing really good work, and I appreciate for the coverage too.
Drop
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Because I really think you should be an Eagles reporter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Eagles reporters like Jeff McLean, I feel like you got to replace them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're asking important questions.
Hey,
Unlike them. But like I said, man, and here's the thing about Witherspoon. That injury that he has, it's starting to concern me. Because if you're not able to run in the combine, and I get it's not all pro, but if he doesn't run in this pro day either, I don't know if I'm taking a chance with him at 10 or in the first round. I feel like that's going to drop his stock a little bit. Now
who's that?
I would take a chance with him in the second. You know what I'm
He
saying?
said
Who's that you're talking
Witherspoon.
about? Witherspoon? Okay,
Witherspoon
my bad.
because Witherspoon's not he is an injury, and that can definitely drop your stock. You know what I'm saying? Because teams are going to be, that's what a lot of times they're saying what happened to Kobe Dean, even though I don't think he had a real injury. But sometimes reports go out and all it takes is one injury to scare a lot of teams. And at 10, I
Not
mean,
to cut you off,
go ahead.
that's like disrespectful though. Like he dropped way to the third round. He should have
No,
been
no, no.
going like
Yeah, that
first
was.
Yeah,
round. The
the
Kobe
Kobe
Dean,
Dean.
like
I was
man,
shocked when we drafted him though. I did not think he would
I'll
drop
take
this
it though.
early.
Hey, I'll take it.
I
I'm
I
not
thought we
going
was
back to
getting
that
him.
draft.
I
We
thought we was
drafted.
getting him when we picked Cam's jerseys. So I'm like, damn, somebody gonna pick him. Dang.
I
And
thought the
sure enough,
Giants were
third
going to take
round.
him. I thought the Giants were going to take him. Like the Giants are going to take him, bro. He's going right to the Giants, and the Giants pass up on him. Like yes, yes, you stupid,
Yeah,
still
everything.
yes. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, and also I think and a lot of people don't want to hear it, but I think we need another linebacker. I really like the Clemson linebacker. I'm really high up on that Clemson linebacker.
What's his name?
Um, what's his name? The Clemson linebacker.
I think
Oh,
no, that's the edge rusher, number 11.
no, yeah,
Clemson linebacker.
yeah. The Clemson linebacker that ran a 4.45
Oh,
in the
Trenton
combine.
Simpson. Trenton Simpson.
That dude's a
Simpson,
beast.
yeah.
Trenton Simpson. Yeah,
You
he's
add
good.
him with Kobe Dean. I'm telling you, you got your two linebackers for the future because I'm really high up on him. I like him and Overshown over there. There's a lot of
Yeah,
good linebackers in this draft, and I feel like that we
Can't,
still got to trust
there is.
because, are you going to go out there? Are you going to really go after a guy like
Kenneth Murray, who might have his 5th year option. How much is going to cost you? You know, I'd rather draft a linebacker than go out and trade for a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I want to draft these guys, man. I'm tired of trading for guys because then we have to worry about signing those guys to long deals because they're on 1 year. And listen, I get 1 years are always okay, but I feel like you got to draft. This is the year where you can able to draft your players and you're able to know that you got a star. A lot of times in these drafts, you don't know if you got a guy that you say, okay, this guy's going to be for real. You know, I think this draft is so deep. It might be one of the best drafts in a long time. The cornerback is really
Yeah.
stacked. DJ Turner, by the way, from Michigan, dude, I'm telling you right now. I mean, that's another guy I've been looking at. That dude can play, you know. And I'm really high up on the Maryland cornerbacks too. Banks over there. I mean, there's a lot of good
I
corners in this
love
draft.
Deontay.
I mean,
I love
like I
Deontay
said,
Banks.
Penn State, they do good in the NFL too. Penn State
mhm,
Penn State got
players.
some good players too. Yeah, I know. What's it called? I talked to what's his name, the center out of because I know you guys brought up Cam Jurgens. I talked to Jake Andrews. He's a center out of
okay.
Troy. He's probably like a mid to late round guy. But either way, at the end of the day, I asked him about if he met with the Eagles. I think he said he had an informant. But I talked to him about just being on that line, what he thought about it, and he brought up Jason Kelsey. Said he would love to take over for him, but he also did talk about Cam Jurgens and he talked about how much he loves his game, and then he
Mhm,
watched his game and thought that he was uber athletic. So Ken Jurgens is a name that people know. You know what I'm saying? Because when you
mhm.
usually talk to people about our offensive line, they usually just talk about the five that go out there to start, right? But he brought up Cam Jurgens
Yeah.
without me ever saying anything. So I
And
have faith in who
I
he's going to
also can
be.
see us taking an offensive lineman in this draft too. I feel like that
I definitely
one
think it's
is
going to happen. Yeah.
I feel it, and then that's why I'm saying like that 30 pick. I think we trade that because I think we only got 1 second, and I think we get a couple seconds, and I think we go back to back with like an offensive lineman, maybe in the early first, and then we probably with the 6'2" overall pick, we take a safety or line because we don't got like 3 second rounds. We only got one. That's why I'm thinking like Howie Roseman's going to trade that last pick because it's going to be like, okay, the Eagles are on the board at 30. Oh, breaking news: the Eagles decide to trade that pick. We're gonna be bummed out because we're gonna have the running back that we all wanted, and we're gonna like, what are you doing? No, draft him. He's right there, and we're gonna be so bummed out because like
Yeah.
I expect it because Harry Roseman is going to stock up on picks. I don't see us drafting two for. That's why I'm saying like I feel like the 10th pick we're going to stay. We're not training the 10th pick, but I feel like the 30th pick in the first round. I feel like that someone's gonna want to jump and get a player in the first round, and I feel like we have an opportunity to get multiple picks. Then I do it. It's not about this year also, it's about next year too. As much as more you can stock on picks, the better your team will be. You know what I'm saying? I get it. At 30 you can get a good player, but you got to understand we got to do as much as can to fill these positions. Like I'm starting to
Yeah, I
prepare
agree.
myself for. I'm really preparing myself for Brandon Graham to leave. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that.
He said
I
he's
think
thinking
Brandon.
about staying. He
I,
said he's thinking about staying. Graham Graham.
I
Yeah,
but here's
because
the
we already
thing.
gave him an extension before, so yeah.
But
Yeah, he
here's the
said he's
thing. I don't
already
know how much
he's
money
thinking of
he's going to
staying.
want. And
Not that
listen,
much. If Brandon Graham comes back, it's gonna be because he wants to, not
I
because
would
we
love
give him
Brandon
a
Graham to
crazy
come
amount
back.
of money. Like we ain't gonna give him that much money. I mean,
But I
yeah, I
but I
agree
feel
with
like some
everything you're
teams
saying.
going to
I
overpay
really
for
do
him.
feel I, they might. I know the Browns are interested in, and I mean the Browns
Big
are interested
force
in
over
our
there.
whole team at this point. Yeah, they're
Hmm.
interested in everybody. But I like Jack
Yeah.
Campbell too as a linebacker. Jack Campbell's a really good linebacker out of
Yeah, I like
Iowa, I
him too.
believe he's from. Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, there's a lot of. I think people are so in love with the top end talent that you have at
Hmm.
yeah, Josh
Yeah,
says that
Jalen Carter
that
and
Booty
Andrew
Tr-
Gibson
Anderson.
thing.
But
Tremont Tremont Edmonds and the Kobe Dean would be lovely, but he gonna want money though,
Yeah,
so we
I
don't
just
gotta
don't
yeah,
see
see
us
that.
spending money. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that there is a rumor going around that the Eagles may not bring back any of their big name players, which that could definitely happen. I don't think that it's going to be a full fire sale because that is, I think Jeff McClain is, you brought him up, but I think he's the one that
he's a
actually put it
clown.
out there. But there have been multiple people. But as I talk to people, I don't think that that's 100% true. I like as I
yeah,
talk to people out there, as I talk to other teams and other reporters for other teams, it doesn't seem like that because when they ask about my players, they don't ask like, "Oh, we're hearing you're getting rid of these guys. We want." They're telling me, "Oh, it's going to be tough to get this guy because I know you guys want it." Like
Hmm.
CGJ is a guy a lot of people bring up to me, and they're like, "I think you guys are going to tag him if
yeah,
everything else falls off." So We might let a lot of our guys go, but I don't think that this whole notion, I can't confirm or, make sure that I can't say for sure that it's not going to happen. But I just don't think so. I think that if that was the case, it would already be spreading through the league. I think if that was the case,
Right.
people would already be getting ready to sign CGJ to get, to make cap space for TJ Edwards. Like I could see
Right.
TJ go. I could see Javon go because he is going to be expensive, but CGJ is young. He's something you can build around. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
There is draft players in there comparable. You brought up Antonio Johnson earlier. I say
I
till
like
my
that
face
kid,
is
bro.
blue. I think he's a very similar player to what Chauncey Gardner Johnson is. So
He is.
I don't know.
And,
It's
and,
going to
and,
be
and
very.
can
Which
you just imagine? My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off, but could you just imagine him and CJ Gardner Johnson on the same field? I'm telling you right now. You want to talk
I
about
don't know how
two
they use them
safeties?
though. That's my thing.
Hey, that's why we got a new defense
I
coordinator, right?
I'll let Mike
Hopefully he can do
I'll
better
let
than
Mike
Jonathan
Epps
Gannon.
go.
Second,
Huh?
Dev.
I'll trade Mike
Not that. What
Epps.
the, well, Mark Epps is a free agent, so I don't know what they're going
Thank
to do.
God.
And there's so
Please
many
God.
players. It's so weird.
He a free
It's
agent.
just so weird.
I don't like Marcus Esper. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are fan of him. I don't like him. I don't. I think he's a good
Marcus
rotational
Epps. I don't.
safety.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Mike Epps. I'm thinking about the comedian. No, I
The
think that
comedian,
and Dave
yeah.
Burrito just brought something up that is very true. He said, "I feel we're underrating how much cap space we actually have. We can free up a ton of space." He's right. We can free up a ton of cap space, but it feels like this Philadelphia Eagles team wants to either get younger or they want to
Mhm.
re-identify who they are, and defensively at least. So we all talk about how Sean Desai is a very similar, coach to Jonathan Gannon and all that stuff. But I think that the Eagles understand that there's things that Jonathan Gannon did that they don't want to continuously do. So we might see a change up in
Mhm.
the guard as far as how this defense works, So I'm excited to see how it works. What's going on, Scoop Doo? But yeah, everybody in the chat, man, if you guys want to join and talk, definitely hit the link that's pinned in the chat. We're gonna probably go live when I get back
You know, you,
from the
you know what? I'm
combine as
so
well and
bored.
do another
I'm so
call in.
glad you went live, man. I appreciate you for going live because I was so bored out of my mind, man. Between the NFL combine
It's
and
good.
all that stuff, man. Hearing those rumors over and over again. I saw someone would mocked us as a taking one of those taking a tight end at number one. I'm like, what are we doing? Now I will say this, right? There was a interesting
Tight end
report, I
class is
guess, from
good.
one Eagles blogger that said that we did technically drafted Dallas Goedert when Zach Ertz was 28 years old. Do we
Yeah,
draft a
yeah, we
tight
draft
end
there.
this year? Do we draft one?
Got it's
Who
28.
could-
I
Yeah,
I think if you get a good if you do trade back from number 30, right? That opens up the well for anything. Or even if you trade back number 10, you're able to find a good partner. If you're able
I'm
to
not
get a
trading
couple
10.
mid-round picks in this
I'm not
draft,
trading 10.
it's there's gonna be some guys. There's gonna be some guys that you're realistically looking at. I mean, obviously probably Mayer's gonna be gone. I'm trying to think of like the top
I
tier tight ends, like they'll probably be gone, but
that's
you can get some really good players.
that's the only tight end that I've really liked so far. Mayo reminds me a lot like um reminds me a lot like what the Eagles like. They like those physical tight ends slash. But he would be perfect for the Eagles. They have a mock to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I could see that. But like I said, man, I feel like our biggest needs right now is cornerback. I feel like that you cannot trade a 10th pick. If you want to move up for a corner, I'm all for that. But you cannot trade that 10th pick. You got to get a star corner in here, man. I'm tired of waiting every year for a cornerback. We did with Sertan, and I get Sertan and Jason. When we had to get a receiver. I get that. You got Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was the right pick, but I feel like every year we always pass up on talented cornerbacks, and we always try to sign band-aid corners. Whether it was Steven Nelson, who's my God, I'm so glad he asked for a 1 year deal instead of multiple deals because he wasn't worth that even 1 year deal. Okay, um, and James Bradbury. I feel like we got to get young star cornerback, someone that we could say, okay, we got a rookie corner on a deal. We don't need to worry about corner for a while. I'm not asking Howard Roseman to draft two corners, but can you give me one? Can you give me a guy that's going to come in and that's going to start right away? I mean, not even
My
start
man
right
Weapon
away, but
X.
just give me a guy that so I can be hopeful for the next 4 to 5 years, so we don't have to worry about getting another corner the following year because you're not going to have
Yeah, I
this
feel you.
opportunity. You're not going to have this
Yeah, I feel
opportunity.
you.
Like,
But
no,
uh,
but
but Weapon X says, hold on. Weapon X says, pray to God we don't draft the corner. I need to know why, Weapon X. I need to know why you just said that because I need to know
why would
why.
you want to
I'm not
not
gonna say
draft
it
the corner?
because. That's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. I want to know why
you're
you say
losing
that because
James
before I
Bradbury. You're
start,
not going to have enough money. Why would you not want to draft a corner? See, here's the thing, right? We're focused on Jalen Carter. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Howard Rose was going to take a chance on a guy with all that baggage right now? Knowing
he
Howie
might. I
Roseman,
wouldn't. I
he
wouldn't put
he
it past
always
him. I
loved
would not
those
put it past
character
Howie
guys.
Roseman.
I
He
I
mean, I'm
wouldn't
love
not
his
put it
D
past
line.
Howie Roseman.
I'm
He
not
love his
saying
edge
Jalen Carter's
rushers
not
and
a
D
good
line.
player, but I just don't see the Eagles drafting a guy with that baggage right now. Now, if he clears up, I can see the Eagles doing it. But he passed up on
That's
Michael
the whole
Parsons
thing. I
because
mean,
of the character issues.
he that's the whole thing. He's at the combine. He obviously bailed out. I think it was like $4,000 they had to bail out. So
Mhm.
he was
Yeah.
at the combine. There was literally like a whole crowd of people in front of his podium. When I don't know why they even thought he would end up showing up, but either way, he is there. And look, if he can talk, because they're going to talk to him. I highly
Mhm.
doubt that they just don't even try to see what's going on. If they talk to him and he can explain it, if he can look, we all make mistakes. This NIL deals and everything. You're gonna see stuff like this because you're giving a young kid that hasn't had stuff like this a damn near $200,000 car. You're giving him a new
Yeah.
lifestyle. It's hard to adjust for some of these young men, and especially when you're that high of a profile person. So I'm not saying that it's excusable. I'm not saying that it's inexcusable. To be honest, I'm saying that if they're able to sit down and talk with him and say, "All right, this kid made a mistake. He has his head on his shoulders. He's not going to do it again. We can, watch him. We can make sure he's good." I think that'll be fine. I don't see. I really don't think he's going to fall as far as people think, especially now that he
No,
got to the
I I
combine and
I
can talk to
I
people.
feel like Seattle's going to take a chance on him. I feel like he's not getting past Seattle. If Seattle gets a chance on him, they're going to draft him. They need defensive tackle. I can see the Lions drafting him. And like I said, I think it's Warren and Jalen Carter. But I'm gonna tell you right now, don't sleep on Nolan Smith, bro. I think he blew up the combine, and
Yeah.
I can see
That's
as
a
much as people talk
that's a
about
sleeper
Houston
right
taking a
there.
quarterback, man. As much people talk about quarterback for Houston, I when you look at who's the coordinator over there for Houston, who's the head coach over there, D'Amico
Yeah.
Ryans. He loves those defensive guys, and Houston needs everything. Yeah, they can draft a quarterback, but there's a lot of rumors that they don't know who those quarterbacks are. And let's be real. Look at Alabama. Look at Ohio State. If I'm a GM and I know that all these Alabama cornerbacks haven't been good, and all these Ohio State quarterbacks haven't been good, am I going to take a chance on that? Even though even though they might be talented, I know that I have a better chance of a guy like a Smith being really good than a quarterback in this draft. That let's be real, they haven't produced at a great high level when it comes to Alabama and LSU. They don't produce. Unless you want to talk about Joe
LSU's
Burrow, but
had
Joe
some good
Burrow was a
corners.
transfer. You know, um,
Oh, you talking
Joe
about
Burrow was
quarterback?
transferred. He
I
was
thought
from
you were
Ohio
talking about
State to
corner.
LSU.
I
You was
thought you were
talking
talking
about
about
tight.
quarterback.
You was talking about tight ends like 5 minutes ago.
Hmm.
Brock Bowers. I like him. Georgia,
Bro, there's
19.
some really good,
Hmm.
really good guys. I like all the way down to like a
Where do you
Davis
think he
Allen.
might
And
fall
he's like
to?
probably a seventh round. Who?
The
Brock
Georgia tight
Bowers.
end.
Yeah,
Brock
where do you
Byers?
think? I think he might go
I
like
think
late
he's pegged as
second.
like a second and third. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
pegged as
late
a second or
second.
third
Yeah.
guy. I mean, but it's going to be interesting because if once I think that a lot of these positions are going to go in waves. Once Bajan goes, then you're going to see a wave of running backs go. Once
Yeah.
the top guy, I think John Mayer is or John Mayer. I don't know his first name. I just the Mayer part sticks in my head. But Mayer, I think he's the top tight end right now. I could be wrong about that. But once he goes, or whoever the top tight end is, I think there'll be a wave of that. The only thing I think that you can really pick throughout the draft is going to be cornerbacks is going to be. I think there's a lot of good linebackers. I think there's a lot of good interior offensive linemen. So I think
Hmm.
those are the spots that you're really going to be looking at. Weapon X says he doesn't trust the Eagles drafting cornerbacks. I mean, I get it. The one
I
thing
mean,
I'll say is you have to try. Hold on, you have to trust your staff,
can
and
I
that's
can
what
I
it
say
comes
something?
down to. The Eagles,
Can I
the
say something
Eagles
real
have
quick?
to trust their.
Go ahead. My fault.
I'm trying to keep you.
Um,
But the
that's all.
Eagles have to trust their staff. I understand looking at the history of drafting
Mhm.
and looking at the history of schools, and I get all that. But you have to just trust your team. You have to trust that they know what they're doing. I mean, Landon Dickerson was an injury prone player. I think he was injured every year except for his final year when he played. And they trusted their scouts, and look at him now. He's been healthy
Look
for
good to
us when
me.
playing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard. Goddard came from a very small school. People were saying, he looked good, but it's a small school. We trusted our scouts, and look at him, Jason Peters. Jason Peters started off as a tight end. I know these are different staffs, but at the end of the day, you have to just trust your staff. You have to trust what their scouts are saying because they're looking at these players year round. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we're learning about some of these guys now, they've known it for since last
Yeah.
year. So it's a lot of just trusting them. And this week, because I did ask a lot of people, and I actually had a friend that got to speak to a couple of personnel coaches and everything, and he asked them what they look for in this, and he related to me. So shout out to my guy. I'm post his Twitter so you guys can go follow him because he's helping me out. But he told me that the personnel have been saying like, listen, we know these guys can run. We know these guys can jump. We know they can do this, that. We know that they're talented, that they're athletic. We want to know who they are. We want to get to know them as people, get to know what they can bring to this team. How do they mesh with our team? So I understand we look at all this stuff on the field, but that's what it really comes down to is what they say in those rooms, what they say on those podiums, because that's what you're getting as a player. Everybody has talent. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's good when you get to this level. It's all about who they are. So I think that can help, a lot of guys, and that can hurt a lot of guys. There's been guys on that podium that are definitely like, listen, I'm not changing position. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? And there's guys saying they're the best player in the draft. It's some things you hear, and it's like maybe you shouldn't have said that on the podium, but
You just never
some things
know
you hear,
what
and you're like,
you just never know what you get. Like you said, Jason Peters,
exactly.
Dallas Goddard. You just never know. Take a chance.
Hell,
It's a
a lot of
crapshoot.
people,
It'll
a
It
lot
pay
of
is.
people
off.
look. A lot of people thought Jalen Hurts was going to be good. I mean, a lot of people didn't think he was going to be
Exactly.
good. You got to take a chance. And I feel like, listen, I get the Eagles are not
I
good with
remember
Russell
that
as a
day
starting
right
quarterback.
there.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody was.
And listen, it worked out though. We got a good quarterback, man. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy.
can't
I'm happy the
complain. I
Eagles were
can't complain.
outsmarting me. You know what I'm saying? I was freaking out, but at the end of the day, listen, you
Yeah,
got
I
to
was
draft a
guilty of
cornerback.
it.
You know,
I'm pretty sure
Sidney
We all
everybody
Jones
were.
was.
to
We were
me,
all a little bit worried.
Sidney Jones
We
to
were all
me
worried.
was a guy who came off Achilles injury. We should have never drafted him. And I feel like that's why Eagle fans don't want to draft corners because they said we don't have a resume of doing it. I feel like a Christian Gonzalez is a number one corner,
Smitty.
hands down. Joey Porter Jr. is a number one corner. If
My
you
boy
get one of those
Smitty.
in your building, they're not going to be no Sidney Jones, no Russell Douglas. We got the right corners in this draft that I think they're going to translate to being good corners. I'm not worried about the Eagles making a wrong mistake because I feel like we are right now in a good position to get a star player, whether it's defensive end, whether it's cornerback, whether it's listen, edge rusher. You got one of the best picks you can ever have, especially a 10th pick. Usually that's for bad teams. The fact that you got a 10th pick, take a chance on a corner. Because listen, if you got a number one corner, you don't got to worry about it for the next 4 to 5 years down the road. You already got one, and you're going to have him on his rookie deal. I'd rather have a young corner on his rookie deal now than I have to worry about next 4 or 5 years when Darius Slay walks. Then who you going to have? You going to trust McPherson? Come on, who is he? Let's be real. What has he done? He's
I
good at
mean,
special
What?
teams.
I'm hoping in that amount of time Zach McPherson turned into something.
He's not going to turn
Man.
into nothing.
How you
He's a
I
know?
special
think Zach
teams guy.
McPherson's
Hey,
good.
listen, we got
He's a
did
special
like this
teams guy.
before with the boy that went to Buffalo, Poirier, whatever
EC's
his
doing
name is.
it.
He went out there and
EC's
everybody
about
said
to
he
be
wasn't
doing
gonna be
it.
nothing for the Eagles. Then he went out there, he a
I
baller.
mean,
Now
we're
he finna
we're
get
still
paid
waiting for
top dollar as a
Kayvon Wallace
safety.
to develop. Come on, we're
Huh?
I don't
waiting
think
for him.
They've been
anybody's waiting for
stepping up.
Kayvon anymore.
Kayvon Watt's been stepping up a little bit.
Kayvon had a
He stepped
decent
up in
he had
special
a decent
teams.
showing every now and
Right.
then, but yeah, he's not. I don't think Kayvon's gonna be a starter for us. But Zach McPherson has played well when asked to play.
Yeah, he
When he
did.
had to go in, he's played decent. So
I
I
like
can't
Josh
give up
Joe. They
on
haven't
him
got.
just
They
yet.
haven't gave him a chance.
Josh Joby, yeah, he's gonna
I
be
think he'd be
interesting.
good number two. But give me a dog at cornerback, man. Give me a
Yeah,
guy
I'll
that's
take
gonna want who's gonna be that's going to you know be a ball hawk. Like give me a dog. I want a dog cornerback. I want a Sauce Garner type cornerback. I'm tired of band-aid corners. Every year
That
we
ain't
always
Christian
it.
sign
Gonzalez
1 year
though.
deals.
That
Huh?
ain't
Yeah, that ain't
Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez.
How do
That
you know?
definitely ain't Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez ain't
That
got the
Gonzalez
swag
don't have that swag.
to
He
be
So
don't
that
got
so
guy.
that. Yeah.
so so who do you think is the best corner at this draft?
I told you
Depends what
yesterday
you're
I
looking
thought
for though.
Witherspoon was the top. He got the
He's
Okay.
swag,
hurt.
he got the
He's a
build,
good player.
But he's hurt.
and
Are you going to take
He's
a
he's
a
like
chance
great
on
quarter
him?
of the
player.
way already developed into what he need to be.
But he's hurt though.
Don't he
Are
got
you going to take
don't
a
he
chance on
got
him?
6 pick 6s in the NCAA last year or the last
Again,
2 years? He
that's
got the
college.
most pick
College.
sixes. I don't care.
It's
That's what
college.
you're
It's
going
not the
off of
NFL.
right now. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
go
what
off
we
the
gotta.
NFL. He don't got
I,
no stats.
Right.
I gotta go off of
would
what I
Yeah,
I
got.
would
he's
take
got.
a chance on a guy who's been playing at a high level in college, like a guy who's playing real competition, than a guy from a
Who?
plethora.
Who?
Joey
Are you
Porter
saying Christian
Jr.
Gonzalez played competition? He played in the
Okay, then
Pac-12
I'll take
where they
Joey
have no
Porter
defense.
Jr. Joey
What?
Porter
No, I
Jr.
mean,
If he's there at 10, what are you taking him?
the thing is, there's an issue
No,
with
I'm
everybody.
not taking
Everybody,
Joey
you can look
Porter.
at the
I'm taking Joey
What
Porter
I would
later.
take Joey
see what
Porter.
20.
happens if Witherspoon
I
is
would take
gone?
Joey
Then who are
Porter.
you going to get? You're not going to get a corner?
I move to later and I get Emmanuel Forbes.
No, I'm drafting a corner. I cannot wait. No,
I'm going with the
I'm taking a
second
I
chance
pick
don't
on
and
think
him.
I'm
he's
taking
taking
I'm
on the
taking a
Emmanuel
corner.
chance on
Forbes.
Joey or one of
Joe, Joe,
Christian Gonzalez.
I
Joe,
think at,
Joe.
at
Hey,
best,
look.
I think at best we trade back that 10 pick and get a corner. I don't think we're taking a corner at 10. I think if we stay at 10, it's going to be for a defensive or maybe offensive lineman.
I mean,
To be
it's
honest,
fine.
just the way
Hey,
you look at, that's what I'm saying. You look at how these meetings have gone. Like we've met a lot of offensive linemen in the higher rounds. We've met a lot of defensive linemen and edge
mhm.
rushers that are like first round guys. So I mean, it just I don't know. And you look at you love their history. You keep bringing up their history. Look at their history. They love taking those defensive offensive linemen in the top
You told me
round. So,
yesterday. Don't forget about the history. Hal Roseman's going to be
I know,
different.
but now it worked in my favor, so I can use it. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I just have a feeling that they're going to take back-to-back corners. I feel like Joey Porter Jr. and Chris Gonzalez and Witherspoon are going to go off the board quickly. I feel like that by the
I wouldn't
time
be
we get to
surprised. Yeah.
10, three
Man,
corners are going to go
I
off
think
that
it's
board.
5-6 corners sitting at 10. Man.
Oh, that
And
definitely will be. I
I
mean,
think
you look at go ahead. No,
I was
you
going to
look at
say,
some of the
like,
guys we have.
go ahead, my fault.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you can go. You can go. My fault.
Yeah, no, I think if you look at the guys that we have in this draft, cornerback, I think you can get a starter all the way into the second round, and then
Mhm.
after that, I think you can get a really good player. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's a lot of good cornerbacks. There's a couple decent safeties. I mean, Brian Branch, he didn't run out the building or anything, but I mean, I don't think he did anything to really hurt his stock. So I don't know. I think
I
that
thought
there's a
he was
lot
a
of second
safety.
they can look at. I wouldn't mind a safety. I wouldn't mind a guy like Brian Branch that can play, the slot position and can
Yeah.
sit high. I really wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a lot of things. This is a
Mhm.
deep draft. This is a really deep draft.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm not putting my money on any specific thing. I'm just saying, hey, as long as they make the right choices, I'm cool with that. But I do got to get out of here. I got to start getting ready for the actual
Mhm.
drills and everything. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a live after the drills, and we'll do it again through Jam, and we'll
Mhm.
all chop it up, man. And
I think
we'll have some fun.
Philly Mike gonna do it tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's on Sundays. He does Sundays, I
Yeah.
think, right? Yeah, yeah. Philly Mike does Sundays. So yeah, I'll be here probably later on tonight, maybe like 7 or 8, and we'll do this probably a little bit longer, not just a half hour. But yeah, I'm about to go over there, see these guys run around, and see what happens. Today, I think it's wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be
Yeah.
We gotta
fun. I
look
want
at
to see what
those,
these
man. We
guys
gotta
do.
look at those, bro. We about to trade
Yeah,
Paul
I want
Walker.
to see
We
what
gotta
these
get a
boys
receiver.
do. I got your question, and EC, before I do get out of here, you kept on asking me about Marvin Mims, so that was for you. That one
That
was
dude's
for
a
you.
beast, man. That dude's a beast in
I had to
Oklahoma.
do it for
I
you.
wouldn't mind pairing him with Devontae and AJ. I'm just saying, you add
Yeah,
him with AJ and Devontae. Oh, don't
it'll be
don't tell
interesting.
me what a
It
good
will
time,
definitely be
man.
a
Come on,
talk to a couple guys, but I am about to get out of here. I appreciate you guys
it's been
hopping on.
fun, man.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all later, man. Be easy.
All right.